No. There it is. There's my button. All right, how we doing? I am showing way too much skin for not getting paid for this. How was everybody? I see a couple of us hanging out. But yeah, I am wearing a rather deep V. So it's a little bit of a deep V. If you can see that right there. Too much skin for not getting paid for it. But how is everybody today? So let's see. I streamed about a week ago. 5 days. So what was that? Last Wednesday? Something like that. And yeah. So I got 2 more followers from that. Let's see. We got I'm Jolie. Thank you for following me. And then Vlad Kilmer. Thank you for following me as well. I think it was Wednesday after I got back from vacation, playing some MMO. Pokemon MMO. It's a Butterfree. All you had to do was ask and you would have had this for free. Thank you so much. I do this mostly for fun. So like the fact that you would use your Prime on me, I am eternally grateful. Thank you. But yeah, all you have to do is ask. You can get this deep V for free. Oh, same. You feel the same way? Good. Just for fun. Yeah, like it's most like if this turns into something awesome. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that too. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But thank you again so much. I just made a TikTok about this actually. This build. It's wanted to kind of experiment and do some building in 1.19 using like 1.19 blocks, like a lot of the new ones. But yeah, these are the blocks I used. And I have to tell you, trying to only use mud bricks and mangrove is not easy because it looks like I don't want to say dull, but it's essentially like a blank canvas. Like adding the color with just even adding grass around it, and adding just the leaf blocks made it pop so much more. And then adding in, frog lights for some lighting, and I picked the green frog lights just because it has kind of that green outline. So to kind of help it blend while also giving light. Had a little water area here, put some sea pickles for some light. Just kind of experimenting with making a very, not overgrown, but this build has been here for a while. Like this is a path that's been worn in from, years of walking on it. So I try to make it look like the mud. And then with the iron ore blocks, it's more compacted and almost looks like that hard dirt with little stones in it. Try to make it look like that. And then I kept the azalea leaves, but used the mangrove logs. I thought those looked pretty good. Use the jungle wood buttons for details because it's a very similar color as the mud bricks. And then, yeah, added some bamboo, some drip leaf, all that good stuff. And then inside, you've got your basic, your crafting areas, got some storage. Do I have my sound on? Let's turn you up just a little bit more. And yeah. Got a yellow frog lamp there, just for just a slight variation of blocks. Little fireplace using the mud bricks. Second floor is your bed, some candles. That's where more of the fireplace extends out to. But yeah, just a nice cozy little area. I thought it was a fun build to do. So it was just one of those things. You just gotta sometimes build for fun sometimes. But yeah. This is the spider farm that I was looking at. I guess it'll work. I kind of, from my last stream to this one, it worked okay. Yeah, it works okay. It's not perfect. But we're gonna use this as our template for our cave spider farm on the streaming world. So, kind of want to take us through it a little bit, and then we will get into it. Now, I have these blocks here. So the spiders will actually, let me switch over to spectator. So these blocks, the spiders will funnel in to here. And then I kept the walls right here just so, like, if they cram, they'll die, and then the items will go into the hoppers that'll lead to the central hopper. So I did that on both sides, and then they can fit in this half block area, so they'll slide under there, and then they can't get out. So if they make it to this focal point, that's where I can hit them with my sword. And if I'm back here behind this fence post, they can't hit me with their poison. Shouldn't be able to hit me with their poison. Keyword there, shouldn't. This was a 9x9, which is what you need for spawning. But spiders can climb up everything. The only thing that they can't climb up is like a 1-block lip. Like, it has to be a lip. So I bumped this out to a 10x10. And then in the 9x9 area, I used fences. So they will spawn inside the fence area up here, then drop down. And then even if they climb the walls, they'll get stuck along the fence line. So hopefully I think when I was running tests, I had maybe every once in a while getting a couple spiders that, like, will catch on top of the fence and then they can go up. So let's test that. Let's switch over to, okay, so already we're getting good spawns. And they should be well outside of the spawning area. Okay, let's switch over to survival. Okay. Oh, they can still hit me. Is it because I'm right here? Yeah, they can definitely still hit me. I thought they couldn't, but they can, because they are poops. So let's do that. I don't want to push us too far away. No. I need something that pushes me back just a little bit. No. Can I hit you from here? I can. Can I hit you from here like this? Oh, okay. Alright, let's try that. Okay. Oh, you can still hit me from there? Wow. That is crazy. You can still hit me from there. Well, I guess technically now they can't get up on the metal, the iron trap door. Or did I die from getting... I must have died from getting knocked back and falling while being poisoned. So... let's do this. Just so I don't get knocked back. What can we do here? Maybe. Can I hit you from here? So let's take this out. Okay. Okay, we're on the back edge of this second block away, but they can still get me. Okay. Huh. How can they hit me? Okay, you can't get out that way. Can I... let's do this. What about this? Can you hit me this far away? Let's say, can I even hit you that far away? Actually, let's, enchant. Ah! Let's give Sweeping Edge 3, I think is what it goes up to. So I can't hit them from here. Okay. Can I hit them? Is it like literally like that little bit? Okay, it looks like just that little bit. So just a couple pixels over the trapdoor. Okay. So they kind of just bump each other around before they get in there, which is, I mean, that's not terrible. My nose is itchy. Oh, goodness. Okay. And then I gotta be up here to get the XP. Which, I mean, is not bad. I guess I can just go up, grab the XP, come back. Okay. That's not a bad plan. Let's turn the light on. And then there's some insta damage. I like how it goes through walls, kind of, you know? It doesn't make any sense, but, you know, I think it's cute. Now, did we get any that got trapped? I don't think so. Just a couple that get trapped under here, which is not a huge deal. It shouldn't affect spawn rates or anything. Alright. So... It's because it's a magic potion. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Totally. Alright, so we gotta take some measurements. First, we're gonna take pictures. It kind of looks like a chicken. Like, I didn't mean to make this look like a chicken, but it kind of looks like a chicken with like a blue collar. How did I make the spider farm look like a chicken? Like that's the hang down up front, and then that's the hang down from the top of the head, and the two eyes, and then the little fence or the little signs are the mouth, like the beak. It's like a stubby fat chicken. It's the chicken farm. It's a chicken farm that farms cave spiders. I should add a chicken farm to it too. That would be funny. That would be hilarious. No, but this is just, I just used red, white, and blue lore. The chicken eats spiders. You know, chickens do eat bugs. I mean, that is a thing that happens. This is super messy and not really what it needs to be like, but we're gonna take a picture of it anyway. There we go, spectator. I need a night vision potion. And I don't want to have to do the effect. Here, splash myself with night vision. There we go. Go. I think that should be good. Nope, that's not what I needed. Okay. And then... actually, let's do one of these things. little measurement thing. So we can count blocks when I take pictures. Should have done that from the beginning, but you know. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. So how you been, Butterfay? Oh, the bubbles. Pretty good. Lots of Genshin in Minecraft. Yeah, I don't know what happened with me in Genshin. I feel like I built it up too much for myself, maybe? I don't know. Like, it's not like I didn't like the game. I actually did really, really like the game. But I don't know. There's just something about it that I was like, meh. It kind of just, I don't know if I burnt myself out or if I wanted to like it more than I actually did, even though I really liked it. I don't know why. I just couldn't get back into it. Like, I took a little break from it, and I was like, I don't know, I really want to play it anymore. But it was fun. We're still trying to get Fire Protection 4. I haven't been playing a whole lot of Minecraft lately. I've been kind of taking a break from it. You know, I know when you started, what killed it for me was that you only played it on stream. Didn't give you enough time to get the proper feel of it. You know, that could be it for me. You know, that could definitely be a pretty valid reason. Maybe, I don't know. See, like, I don't wanna guess or put a reason on it that may not be there. But that could be it. I don't know. But I've kind of taken a step back from Minecraft a little bit just because I've been interested in some other stuff. Playing some other games. But I've been excited to get back into Minecraft, and that's one of the reasons why I built that build and made a little short video about it. Started liking it a lot more when we started playing more off stream, just doing daily stuff to get the feel of it down. That's probably what I should have done, was played it off stream more, so I got the hang of it more, because I felt like I was learning a lot on stream instead of just playing the game. Saw me on other games recently. Yeah, I always play like the same couple of games. Like if you see me on Steam or on Discord, I always play the same couple of games, and they're like my rotation of stuff to de-stress, or I play it. Like I was playing Balloons right before stream. It's just a thing that I do. It's just a thing. Whew. All right, we need some chests. We will also need hoppers. So we'll take more of those. What kind of blocks do we want? Ooh. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I always play Bloons Tower Defense. Tower Defense games I really like. That's why I've been playing some Gemcraft lately. PokeMMO is something fun that I like to play. And it's a game that I've wanted to play for a while now. Let's do Polished. And I finally got all the ROMs downloaded and put onto the game. So it works pretty well. And it's essentially just like playing a big emulator, but with other people. So it's pretty entertaining. That's all I'll take for now. Tower Defense, ever try Arknights? I haven't. I'll have to look that up. PokeMMO is fun so far. It's just like playing Pokemon. Like, just doing what I like to do. Like, I just like the relaxing kind of feel of it. So we need iron and we need some ice. I know I saw some packed ice in that chest there, but I think I have some down at my amethyst farm. But no, I haven't tried Arknights. I'll have to look it up. But I should be able to... I think this Wednesday's going to be an art stream. Not there. I think this Wednesday's going to be an art stream. So I want to do some pixel art. I may not do an animation. It may just be just a pixel art. But I don't know yet. I might... So I've been thinking about redoing my logo for things. Not like a major overhaul or anything, but just making it look more pixely. So I was thinking about doing that. And then I was also thinking about I need to play some more Gemcraft as well. Okay. So a couple streams ago, we found a cave spider farms, or cave spider spawner, so we're gonna go over that way. I'm gonna be starting a new teaching gig this fall, but my commute is like an hour each way. So it's like 2 hours on the road. But tomorrow I'm gonna go check out the building, check out my classroom. My oldest daughter's gonna go with me and hang out with me, and it'll be lots of fun. I think she's gonna help me plan my room, help me come up with ideas. Be a fun little daddy-daughter day. Excited. And her birthday's this week? Yeah, it does sound neat. Like, her birthday's this weekend. Yeah, the commute is not going to be fun. I've done this pretty much the same commute before, and it is not fun in the slightest. Oh, I will. She'll like that. She'll be like, who is this? She's so curious about everything. Did I take my bed back? Yeah, she turns 8 this Sunday. Her birthday party's on Saturday. But yeah, she turns 8. And she is pumped. She's having a Coraline themed birthday party. She doesn't like scary things. Not yet. She may be my scary movie kid later in life, but she doesn't like scary stuff. She likes creepy stuff. So like Tim Burton kinds of stuff. She's into. She also likes. She likes Coraline, so she kind of gets into that. I had a thing. Where is the thing? I like cut it out and everything. Yeah, spooky, not quite scary, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's probably a better way of explaining it. But, so she likes the Coraline movie, so we bought her the books, and I'm excited because they're actually kind of, like, I've heard they are significantly more creepy than the movie, which it's going to be, we're going to let her kind of, my wife and I talked about it, you know, a little bit, like, it's scarier than the movie, how do we feel about that? And I was like, you know, maybe we should just let her kind of gauge that herself, you know, like, I don't want to set a limit on her that she's already surpassed. So we're gonna kind of just let her decide, you know, she can always put a book down. She doesn't have to keep reading a book that is too scary. But we got her the book, and then I also got her the graphic novel version of the book. So, and she's been really into graphic novels lately. So I thought that would be fun for her. Where is this thing? I think I took a screenshot of it. Get to a better place and then I'll look. But yeah, we got her both the book and the graphic novel version, which is exciting. And we got her the movie, because we used to just watch it on streaming. Like, it was on Netflix for the longest time, but Netflix took it off, and so she's been itching to watch the movie again. Which means that my youngest will then be introduced to it, and she kind of likes creepy things too. So we're gonna do that to pause the game. But yeah, both of my kids kind of like the creepy stuff. So, like, my youngest really likes the movie Monster House, where the house is like alive with this old guy's wife's spirit. And yeah. -726, -201. And so they both kind of like spooky stuff. Yeah, it is kind of strange, and I don't normally, like, I'm not huge into saying, no, you can't watch this, you're not old enough yet. But what I do is I usually just kind of, if I've seen it, I will kind of prep them and say, this is pretty scary, this is the kind of stuff it deals with, like, it deals with death. It doesn't show, you know, blood or anything like that, but it does talk about death, which you may not be into. There are people, like, my oldest isn't really, she doesn't get upset about death so much. She gets upset when people get upset. So she's super empathetic. And so if she sees someone get upset, she is more likely to be upset. Oh, there it is. And so if she sees a show where someone is crying, she is more likely to be upset and cry, like, and not want to watch it. My youngest will just flat out tell you. She's like, no, I don't like this, turn it off. Which I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fair. So Monster House was one of those movies I was like, are you guys sure you want to watch this? It is spooky, but it doesn't really show anything. It just kind of shows, like, people, quote unquote, disappear when they get eaten by the house. So, like, you don't really know if they're getting eaten or not. And they were both like, yeah, let's watch it. Let's do it. It's like, all right. You know, I'll let you give it a shot. And then if there's any point where you guys don't want, you want me to turn it off, just let me know. And they were like, nope, we like it. My youngest went through a phase where all she wanted to do was watch Nightmare Before Christmas over and over again. Like, we had a good week or two where that was pretty much the movie she wanted to watch all the time. Whenever we were like, hey, you can have some screen time. Do you want to watch a movie or something? She's like, Nightmare. She's like, I want Christmas Jack. Give me Christmas Jack. I was like, all right. So they definitely like the creepy stuff. But Ellie, my oldest, she likes Coraline so much that like she watches like fan theories, like YouTube reaction theories about Coraline. Like people dissecting the story, trying to find deeper meanings to it. It's like, oh man, you are not just a fan of it, you are like a straight up fanatic. And I dig it. It's like, you do that with some games. Yeah, like I used to do that like with Dragon Ball, or I do that with Naruto, or just really anything, any media that I'd be interested in. I don't really do it so much anymore, just because a lot of people take fan theories as fact. Like I used to do it with the Marvel movies a lot, and I can't anymore because people treat their fan theories as fact, and I just can't. It's exhausting because you're like, I don't know what is actually been stated, because people say things as if they've been stated like from creators or from the director or from the writers, and it's what they're doing is just saying something or stating something that's been stated as an opinion or a theory from someone that they watched a video about. Heard about the Little Nightmare games? I don't know if you want them playing it at this age, but when they're older, they're really good. And what's the theory potential? Oh yeah, I've actually played one on the first one on a stream before. I think I played it one stream, maybe two. I dig them. I like puzzle games, and I like creepy. Like some of my favorite movies are horror movies. I love watching horror movies. Like right now, I'm going through the Resident Evil show, the new one that dropped on Netflix, and I've been enjoying it. It's not really about the games, which is fine. And like, not trying to make it about the game. It's just kind of taking the parts of the story and some of the characters and just kind of doing their own thing with it. And it's not like trying to be the game. It's fine. I kind of dig it. But yeah, I wouldn't mind them watching it. It's probably 1 or 2 steps too scary for them at this moment. For my oldest. My youngest would probably get freaked out in the first little bit, because it's just, the tone is pretty eerie. And there's not a lot of levity in there to kind of break it up, so they probably wouldn't, my youngest probably wouldn't be able to get it at all. But my oldest, it's probably 1 or 2 steps too creepy or too scary for them at this moment. I would say in the next year or two, she'll probably dig it. But she, like, one of the reasons why I want to get her this book is because it's a Neil Gaiman novel, and he is a fantastic writer. And I would love for her to start, because she's been reading everything. She's been reading so much. And I want her to get to that point where she can have favorite writers, because of how much she loves to read. So I'm hoping that this is a book that kind of fosters that kind of, continues to foster her love for reading. Because she is just reading everything in sight right now. And it is not a bad thing, but we've had to get onto her for staying up too late reading. And I always tell her, it's like, you're not in trouble for reading, like getting caught staying up late because you're reading. You're not, oh, there is 2. Oh, I did not know that. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Hey. Hey. Stop it. I'm dying over here. It's not nice. Like, at least wait till I, like, regen a little bit. But, what was I saying? Skeleton, you ruined my train of thought. The big thing is that, like, I always tell her, is like, reading is so good for your brain. I love that. But sleep is also good for your brain. And it's just as important, if not more. So let's make sure we have a good balance. Like, I love that you want to read. You're not going to get in trouble for reading. What I'm going to get frustrated at is that you're not sleeping. And so she's like, okay, that makes sense. And I was like, good. Because, like, that's about as nice as I can be about it. Without, like, getting super grumpy. So I was like, and I don't want to be super grumpy about you reading, because I love that you read. And she's like, okay. So she tries to do a pretty good job now. She's been, I think she's going to be going through some growth spurts here soon, because she's been eating a lot more, going to sleep kind of on her own without a lot of reminding, because normally she reads a whole bunch. And then we have to, like, go into her room and be like, all right, lights out, you know, it's time to go to bed. And she'd be like, oh, just one more chapter. And I'm like, it's hard for me to say no to that. So she's been, lately, just kind of tucking herself in and going to bed. And I'm like, aw. Like, I like it, because she's, like, gaining some independence. But I'm also like, oh, I kind of liked getting on to you. I kind of enjoyed, like, telling you to go to bed. It gives me an excuse to come and visit. Don't make me come over there. Don't make me. I love having thorns on my armor, because, like, you shot me from all the way over there and you still took damage. What is happening? Thorns is so good until you don't want to be in a moment where you have thorns. And you're like, oh no, I had thorns on my armor the whole time. You're like, oh. I introduced my wife to the boys. And she's like, this is ridiculous. Glowberries. I found glowberries! I'm so excited! Oh man, I am pumped. Usually only keep it on your battle armor though. I have two sets where one is not quite as built up. And no thorns. Yeah, I'm excited now for the glowberry farm. Yeah, I need to have a couple sets of armor. I need to have one with thorns, one without, of course. I'd like to have a full protection 4. Like, I'd like to have, I wish they would make it more worth it to kind of invest in more situation-specific armor. Because eventually, people just kind of find something that is a good hybrid, and then they stick with that. You know? And so I wish there was I don't want to say like a dependence on situation-specific armor, but I think maybe a little bit better utilization for it, I think would be nice. Or a need for it, even. Like, so there are trident-specific enchantments. What I think would be pretty cool is if they made more underwater-specific enchantments and kind of encourage you to like wear things like the turtle helmet, things like that, to where there are more incentives for having armor that is for a specific situation, or enchantments for a specific situation. That giant fern freaked me out. I thought it was a creeper. I thought you were a creeper. But yeah, I don't know. It's not frustrating or anything. It's one of the things, it's a small change that could have a huge impact, and they could add a lot to it. They could make villagers a little bit more useful by kind of spreading out some of those trades, maybe making fishermen be part of that, or they could make a deep sea diver villager that could help give some of that. I think it would be pretty cool. And that could take away some of the enchantments from librarians by giving those enchanted books to specific villagers. I am a porcupine. I must have not explored this at all. I think I just found the spawner and was like, good enough. Make things easier to find? Maybe. Are you talking about like with the specific villagers? Because there's like two sides to a lot of like the conversations when people want to add stuff to Minecraft. Sometimes they want to add things for complexity's sake, because farming specific enchants. Yes, it would make things easier to find, and I think it would kind of give us more of a reason to explore. Like when they added a lot of the water stuff, they added in the helmets for water breathing with the turtle helmets, which is great. But other than just some minor things and a lot of just aesthetic things, there's not a lot that you absolutely need the turtle helmet for. Like, you don't really need the turtle helmet at all. Like, there's so many ways to kind of get around ever needing to use one. Like, I don't think I've ever made one in the vanilla game. Oh, Jesus. That actually kind of scared me. There is a skeleton spawner here, too. This is probably legitimately far away. Not as far as you would think. It's like that way is the other spawner. That's okay. Multi-shot cat. Okay. I don't hate it. All right, let's take a picture of this. So like, and some of the big things with kind of making things more complicated, because things can get pretty easy with the game, especially like if you have utilized villagers, which is not a difficult thing. It's not as difficult as some other things in Minecraft. Like, there's still a level of complexity to it. But I don't want to describe anyone else's experience with the game. But like, once you figure it out, it's pretty easy to replicate. It's pretty easy to replicate again and again on other worlds, having to interact with villagers. So I would say that if they changed kind of what the villagers gave you, that would add a level of complexity. Well, not a level of complexity, it would change the complexity that we have. Not necessarily make it more difficult or harder or annoying, It just means you'd have to farm different villagers, which doesn't really solve the problem. I suggested, oh man, I forgot who I was talking to. Not important. I was saying maybe change our relationship with the villagers, because villagers, the way that Minecraft treats them now, they treat them as a resource instead of as an interactive NPC. They are a farming resource, in my opinion. And there's a lot of problems with that anyway. You know, using people as a resource thematically, that's kind of a big issue, and a lot of the I guess people who will justify keeping that, and that it's maybe say it's not a big deal, is that they're like, well, it's a game, and games don't change people's behavior. And I'm like, no, they don't. But it's about the representation of people. Like, it's not about changing the behavior of the people playing. It's about the representation that it is, representation of maybe the people that it is kind of similar to. I don't know. It can be pretty dicey when you utilize people as a resource in a game. Like, I don't know if there's a good way to do that without making it seem like I guess because of how we breed villagers and then use their offspring to continue it, we are essentially, this is chattel slavery simulator. Because it is generational. And so I don't know. I am hesitant to say that it is exactly that, but it is pretty much that, in my opinion. And then the fact that villagers are, in my opinion, a pretty obvious parallel for the Jewish people. They take a lot of the physical stereotypes and some of the Jewish myths and apply them to the game and to NPCs. Like, that's what a golem is. A golem is summoned when it needs to protect the Jewish people, and that's how golems are summoned in Minecraft, when villagers feel threatened. Like, and kind of knowing now that the creator of Minecraft was allegedly and pretty much confirmed a noted anti-Semite, I think it's not a far stretch to say that villagers were based on people of the Jewish faith. And the whole interactions between villagers and golems is based on the interaction between people of the Jewish faith and the golems in their mythology. So, like, I think we should change how we interact with villagers. I think that could be a really safe way, and honestly, a really fun way. But that's why we now say Hatsune Miku created Minecraft, because of that. Yeah. But you know, it's still one of those things, like, there's an opportunity to not only correct the representation in the game, but also to correct the gameplay, to make it more fulfilling and more interactive and deeper, and not so much treating people as a mechanic or a resource. Like, there's a lot of things you can do because of that in FNAF. Yeah. I don't know. It's like, and there's always going to be strong opinions based on that. And it's not like something I am particularly knowledgeable in. Like, I'm not a scholar of Jewish studies. I have a pretty big fascination with religion anyway, as someone who's not religious. And so and because of some of the physical stereotypes that get kind of passed around, I've often been mistaken as Jewish. You know, white guy with curly hair. So it's something that, like, I think about, just because there's no reason not to even, like, discuss it. Like, you could definitely have a discussion about this. But you'd be surprised how many people don't like having that discussion because they don't want to think too hard about a game that they like. But as for, like, how the game mechanics work, like, maybe you can't farm books off villagers. Like, maybe it's more quest-driven. Like, they give you books based on quests. Or interactions that aren't just trading. There are different ways to interact with NPCs in a game than just trading items with them. So it could be interesting to see how that works. And honestly, like, giving Minecraft, like, giving quests, even if it's like hunt and search quests, I think it would be pretty cool. People don't admit that there are potential problems with something they love, and it used to just ignore problems. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why people ignore, like if we went back to, like, criticisms of the MCU, I like Marvel movies. I think they're a lot of fun. But I think that's, for a lot of them, that's kind of where they stop, is just being fun. Like, I haven't really walked away from a Marvel movie, like, feeling introspective, you know, thinking about placement of superheroes in the world and kind of how that would tie into real world themes. Not to say that they have to do that. I'm just saying that is a criticism. That is something that I like to do when I go to the movies, is use entertainment to kind of critique the real world. And you know, maybe a movie is an example of one ideology, you know, and kind of seeing it run its course through the lens of that filmmaker. So I always find that kind of stuff interesting. But like with Marvel movies, one thing that people tend to ignore is the fact that they whitewash a lot of their characters. Like Wanda Maximoff is supposed to be she's supposed to be a person of Roma. She's supposed to be Roma. I don't want to repeat the G slur, but yeah. And even in when Wanda was introduced, Scarlet Witch was introduced back in Age of Ultron, cast members, including Elizabeth Olsen, called her the G slur over and over again. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, we shouldn't be doing that. And people kind of just ignore it. They're like, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, yeah, to us, for me, yeah, it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't, that word isn't tied to my heritage and the degradation of it. But for a lot of people, it is. And it's like a thing. They also have a pretty terrible representation of women and family. Yeah, that's a problem, sure, but many people are even willing to admit that they aren't perfect. Yeah, I would say that many people are willing to admit they aren't perfect, but like, if you then say, okay, well, what are some problems that you have of MCU movies? My favorite thing is asking people who will concede the point that yes, Marvel movies aren't perfect, but we shouldn't think about them too hard, or think they're just movies, or, you know, they like movies because they're fun. And I'm like, that's totally valid. That's your opinion, and that's a completely valid opinion, you know? And I'll be like, you said that they weren't perfect. What are some criticisms that you have of it? And they tend to come up either with nothing, or... And it's not because they don't find things that aren't perfect, it's because they haven't thought about it that hard. But yeah, Marvel's representation of women is pretty poor. Like, giving Black Widow, who was introduced in Iron Man 2, the second movie in the MCU, it took them until after Endgame before she got her own solo movie. All movies, even just for fun, tell a message. I mean, yeah, to some extent. And sometimes that message is, this is fun. This is a movie about beer, like Beer Fest. That's a movie about family and culture and tradition. But it's also just a movie about friends getting drunk together and having fun and kind of reliving their glory days. Like, yeah, it's a silly movie, but it has some deeper themes in it. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that. Now, of course, not all movies will even go that far. Sometimes the movie theme is just, let's have fun with it. Let's tell a fun story, which is completely fine. But like, and I get a lot of flack for this because, and I have a soft spot for the DC movies because they catch a lot of heat. And in my opinion, a lot of unnecessary heat. Like, it gets to the point where we're kind of seeing it now, and I think it's funny. We're getting the I call it the Star Wars prequel trilogy treatment. DC gets more hate than they deserve. Yes, agreed. So they get what I call the Star Wars prequel trilogy treatment. So when the prequel trilogy came out, episode, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, hardcore Star Wars fans hated them. Mostly because it was grown white men who grew up watching, were kids when 4, 5, and 6 came out, and they grew up, but Star Wars didn't, and so they were like, this is bad, blah 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 blah. But the kids that saw those movies love them, but then they're also the same ones that didn't like 7, 8, 9 because they didn't grow up. They're adults. And some of it comes down to the misogyny of now Star Wars. The main character is a girl instead of a boy. So there's some misogyny laced in there. And maybe not just some, maybe quite a bit. And so it kind of becomes this thing of, okay, well then, what does that mean? And so, like, for DC movies, a lot of the movies that were critically and the audience didn't like them are being looked at again, and people are like, wow, this movie's actually really good. Why did it get so much hate? And it's because people, like, the expectations people had going in colored their viewing experience. And like, I've even had this with friends. Like, I loved Man of Steel. Man of Steel, to me, it is not a perfect Superman movie. And I think that's the point, because the Superman in that movie is not perfect. And people don't like that. People want and I heard this on TikTok, and I thought it was a beautiful interpretation. Man of Steel is the typical hero's journey. It really is. Hero leaves home, has his journey to become the titular hero, and comes back, and kind of, saves his home and saves the world. People want the hero, but they never want to see the journey. People wanted iconic Superman, but they didn't want to see any of the steps that led up to it. They didn't want to see Superman stumble and fall. They didn't want to see this perfect, iconic character make mistakes. Because they don't want a character who has growth at first. But now, when you go back and you watch Man of Steel, that's all that movie is. It's all about, like, sometimes they even literally say, like you will fall, you will stumble. And, like, that's the point. Like, even the world or that universe's most mighty hero made mistakes before he became this symbol of hope. And I was like, oh, that's so good. People, when Batman vs Superman came out, at first everyone hated it, but now people are looking back and they're like, oh wow, Ben Affleck was actually really good as Batman. Oh wow, I get it. He is a more grizzled Batman. He's mad at the fact that being the nice guy, or not being the nice guy, but playing it softer in Gotham for 40 years didn't work the way he thought it would. And so he's mad. And it kind of mixes in some of the Dark Knight Returns things into there too. So it kind of meshed that all together. And people are like, well, that's not Batman. I'm like, if we're going to go for comic book accuracy, let's make sure that we keep our expectations the same when we judge Marvel movies, because most of the Marvel movies, I would say, all except the origin movies, so like the first Iron Man, the first Captain America, first Thor, are pretty much some of the comics come to life. But they even take a lot of creative liberties with those. With Cap, they did that a little bit, especially with the Howling Commandos. Some of the kind of fuzziness with the Tesseract. They don't, like, the Tesseract in the comics wasn't really a thing. It was always called the Cosmic Cube. But they changed that to just be a housing for the Space Stone, which was revealed not until Endgame. And then, see, the first Iron Man, the 10 Rings wasn't really an organization. It was actually 10 rings that we saw in Shang-Chi, but they were actually actual rings that were magic. And yeah. So like, there's a lot of things in the Marvel movies. I would say more than most people want to admit, that has been changed in the Marvel movies. But yeah, it's so like when people cry out for comic book accuracy, I'm like, make sure you have that same level of criticism for the Marvel movies when you kind of come after DC, because DC does it, or Marvel does it as much, if not more. And people are like, well, it's not supposed to be the same. I'm like, then don't say that about DC movies. I even had a thing where I was talking to an extended family member, and he was kind of judging DC for adapting some comic book storylines and kind of telling their own story with it. And I'm like, well, you know, Marvel does that too. And he goes, well, I haven't read those comics. And I'm like, your perspective is so skewed then. Like you have to admit that, like, you can't really, it's hard to think that your opinion is very fair if you, like, just plainly admit that you don't know the source material, like, you haven't read the source material it's based on, and you are claiming comic book accuracy. Like, a movie doesn't have to be comic book accurate to be good. A comic book movie doesn't have to be comic book accurate at all to be good. Like, Logan is considered one of the best, like, it is a great movie. It's like one of the best mutant movies, X-Men movies, Wolverine movies. One of the best, if not the best. The comic that it's based on, not a lot shares. Like, the only thing that is shared between the comic and the movie is the way Hugh Jackman looks and the kind of set in the future storyline. Not a lot else is the same. Like, for one, Bruce Banner and the Hulk have a huge role. Like, I would say as pivotal to the story as almost any other character. And obviously, they're not in it at all. Like Thor Ragnarok. People are like, oh, that's a great movie. And they're like, it even shows some of the Planet Hulk stuff. I'm like, not really. And they're like, yeah, it does. I'm like, it shows the planet that Hulk was on for the Planet Hulk storyline and the World War Hulk storyline, but like, that's it. That is the end of the similarity. Like, there is nothing else in the story that happens the same way. And they're actually going to be adapting World War Hulk, and I don't know how they're going to do it, because like they kind of already messed that up with showing us Sakaar in Ragnarok. And there's so many characters that they haven't ever even alluded to that are in the World War Hulk storyline that are like pretty paramount to the picture, like to the story. Like Reed Richards, the Sentry, who is my favorite Marvel character, is pretty important. They're just now going to be introducing Namor. And he's coming in Black Panther 2, and like in his change from the comics is so good. Like, it makes sense, and it makes sense in how they used it. Does it make more sense than just doing the comic book origin? I wouldn't necessarily say yes, but it's not something I'm not mad at that change. I think it's a great change. He's based on more like Aztec, like ancient Aztec culture. And I'm like, oh, that's super cool. What a way to be really inclusive of other cultures without changing too much about a character. Like, that's great. Like, you didn't have to completely change the origins for their power or anything. Super cool. And the concept art or the promo art looks so good. He's got like gold accents. It looks so good. I'm so excited. I don't know what is with my nose, but it is itchy. Yeah, like some changes are great. Oh, this one. Okay, this one bothers me because it's a staple of the character, and they changed it, and I'm like, why? Like, why would you do that? Like, it doesn't make, like, I know why they did it, to make it to where this, like, it's an easier story to tell. But Deadpool is not a mutant. He's a mutate. Something happened to him to give him powers. He is not a mutant. Like, they made that mistake in Wolverine Origins, and they made that mistake in his own movie. I'm like, he's not a mutant. Stop making him a mutant. And then with what they're doing with Miss Marvel, man, the Miss Marvel show was so good. Even with a lot of the changes, I enjoyed the show. One, because I loved it was like a history lesson in the apartheid in India. I was like, oh, this is great. And in some of the cultural aspects of Hindu Indians who are of the Hindu faith, kind of versus those of the Muslim faith in Pakistan, and kind of like how the relationship from some of the Middle East and Southwest Asia are how they interacted in the past, and the fault of British colonialism. I thought that was super cool. It's far better than Captain Marvel's movie, from what I hear. So, okay, Captain Marvel was so different too. Like, almost nothing about the Captain Marvel movie is actually from the comics. Okay, her name Carol, yes. Did she get her powers from the Tesseract kind of exploding it with power in the comics? No. She got it from from Captain Marvel, who's a Kree. And I mean, it's tough because, like, I get why they're doing it. They didn't have all the rights to all these characters when they were first crafting these stories. So I get it. They wanted to create stories with the characters they had. So they wanted to, they had to change things. So I get it. I understand it. But it bothers me when people are like, oh, but it's just like the comics. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, it can still be a good movie and not be like the comics. It's like one of those things where if they made Harry Potter from Manhattan instead of England, and instead of owls, they are parakeets, and instead of wands, they use pencils because they're shaped like wands, and that's what students would actually carry. Like, not huge changes if you look at it out of context. But in the context of the story, that's a pretty big change. It could still be a good movie. It could still be a good Harry Potter movie. Would it be the same story as the books? No. And there's nothing wrong with that. Changing the story from the book is fine. You could, like, even it keeping the same Harry Potter name is fine because it's an adaptation. It's changing it to maybe fit into something more modern, changing it to fit in with something more relatable, which is what the Marvel movies have done with a lot of their properties, which is completely valid. But people would throw a hissy fit. Like, people already threw a hissy fit for some of the changes that were made in the Harry Potter movies anyway. Whether they were valid or not. So, like, I don't know. But yeah, Captain Marvel's story is so different in the comics. So Carol was a pilot, and then she was working on a base, and then Marvel was in there, and he was hurt, and then some like ray, not X-ray, but like some medical device pulsed, and some of her DNA was intertwined with Captain Marvel's, and because he was a Kree, it made her DNA very different, even from Marvel, who was a Kree. So like she could potentially be stronger than both. But like when she was first introduced, she wasn't Captain Marvel because Marvel was Captain Marvel. Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't know what it is. I think it's my mustache hair. It's bothering my nose and it's making it itchy. Anyway, so like I think she went by Warbird for a little while, and then Binary. But like Monica Rambeau, I think was technically a Captain Marvel before Carol was. And then she became Binary, then became Spectrum. I think she's now just Spectrum. And then, but Captain Marvel didn't really become Captain Marvel. It was like one of the names that she held onto for the least amount of time, by the time the movie came out. Because she was Miss Marvel for a lot of the New Avengers run, or for all the New Avengers run, really. She's been Miss Marvel I think she was Warbird the longest in her comic book career, and then she was Miss Marvel for a long time. But yeah, and she was Miss Marvel, and then her symbol, the little kind of S shape on her outfit, the kind of unitard that she was wearing, was the original inspiration for Kamala Khan's suit. She took the kind of Miss Marvel symbol and became the new Miss Marvel because she was a big fan of Carol. Because Carol at that time was going by Captain Marvel, which makes sense for that story that they were telling. Because there wasn't, they didn't have anything in the comics that kind of could change that. So, like, it made sense. And then in the... Oh, goodness. In the show, they've done some pretty drastic changes. Which some are really cool. Like, I love all the conversations about her heritage and her culture. I love her interactions with her family. I love that stuff. And I love that it gives representation to people who don't look like me. I think that is by and far one of the most important things about the show. And it's also telling a really good story. It's able to succeed and fail while still being able to tell a story that is inclusive to not just the straight white man. So I think it's an important show. Am I disappointed that it's not closer to the comics in terms of like her power set? Yeah. The fact that she says Embiggen, even though she's not using the powers that she called Embiggen in the comics, is weird to me. They've kind of unofficially said, like, I think that her powers are more based on the mutant armor, who can make like energy armor around themselves and craft it into whatever shape or weapon shape that they want, which that character is really cool, but that's not Kamala Khan. But they're doing it in a way that kind of resembles her stretchy Embiggen powers, which to me that sounds like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Like, they're like, we need to change her powers to fit our story, but we're gonna make them kind of look like her actual powers. Maybe that's their way of again, having their cake and eating it too, but also, like, I don't know, it just kind of feels cheap. Put you in here. Okay, so we need sticks. Man, I could literally just ramble on about Marvel forever. I have to head out for now. I'll leave you to work. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You have a good rest of your day, evening. It's nice to hear you talk about superheroes. Oh man, I apologize if I went on for too long, because I can. Thanks for hanging out with me, Butterfay. Oh, you enjoyed it? Good. Okay. Well, then I don't feel as bad. I appreciate it. Thanks for the subscribe and everything. Hopper time. These around a little bit, even though it makes no difference. Makes me feel better. Pop it. Okay. So we've got hoppers, which we needed. Oh, there goes the golem. There's something just peaceful about going out on a boat. I don't know what it is. Look at a little dolphin. He's chasing me. Hi, little dolphin. Oh, fishies. I feel like I'm being amused by the most simple things. He's so fast. Look at him. He's so fast. He's so fast. This. Ooh. Take all this stuff back. So excited to have glowberries now, because now I can make a glowberry farm, and I don't know how to make a glowberry farm, so we can play with that for a little while. That'll be a fun project to do. I think you have to grow them and then like make a vine, like a set of vines or something. Hey! Why are you bumping into me? That's not nice. Whoa! He just jumped out of the water. Why are you guys so close up to the top? Like, look at that. Why are you trying to swim out of the water? What's happening? There definitely needs to be more, like, not unique, but more interactive mobs, I think, in the water. Because they have guardians and the Elder Guardian, dolphins, and squid. And yeah, and axolotls. And now frogs. I guess that is more. I forgot about frogs. But they're so cute. They're so cute. I'm having a very fluffy hair day. Can't really tell. Oh, it's hair. Very fluffy day. Had it up in a pony most of the day. And I was just like, ugh. It was still kind of wet. And you have long hair and you throw it up in a ponytail and it doesn't really dry. It's like, ugh, it needs to dry out. But today was wash day, so my hair is more dry than usual. Which is... my hair looks the best. And now this is me being very vain and kind of talking about my looks a lot. My hair, in my opinion, looks the best on about 3-day hair, maybe 4-day hair is when it looks the best. Got all those natural oils in it, looking good. My curls are a little heavier, they don't frizz out as much. Do that. Let's put the glowberries there for now. Nope. Did I take fish? Did I do that? Was that me? Am I having a stroke? What's happening? Have you picked up a good profession yet? No! Give me fire protection 3. Gosh darn it. Disappointed. We've got a couple spider eyes. We could probably make something. What do I need to make a curing potion? How to cure zombie villager. Let's see. First giving them the weakness effect. So, splash potion of weakness, okay. Splash potion of weakness. And then give them the golden apple. So how do you make a splash potion? Splash potion of weakness recipe. 1 blaze powder, 3 water bottles, 1 fermented spider eye, and 1 gunpowder. Okay. We can do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't need any of that. So you're a golden apple. We're not going to take the notch apple. I'll take those. turn you into the U. And then... How do you make golden apples? Makes sense. I thought I had more gold than that. Okay, let's smelt you up. I thought I had way more gold than that. Okay. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Alright. Let's make a couple of these. We'll put you back. Pull a little half of you back. Okay, do we have... Okay. Oh, we need our spider eyes. So we gotta bake you. Right? Is that how you do it? How do you make the fermented? Butter. Oh, it's gotta be brown mushrooms and sugar. Brown mushrooms and sugar. Do I have brown mushrooms? I know I have them. Do I have them in places that, like, I can use? Am I just not seeing it? Let's see, do I have them just, like, loose around here? No. 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 Grab a couple of these. Alright. Now we need sugar. Get some sugar. Okay. No! No! What the hell? Go. Boom, boom. Splash potion. A blaze powder. Blaze powder. Blaze powder. I don't think I have blaze powder. This could be interesting. Nope. And I think we have a blaze farm, like, partitioned off. Ring stand. Okay. Interesting. Alright, well, we're gonna put this stuff here, because we can't use it yet. Okay. It makes me kind of sad. It gives me the sad. All right. Oh, it has been a good stream. Oh, my back hurts. Okay, so let's go see if there are people to raid. Hi, it's Kai. Is always nice to raid. She's playing some Minecraft. But I want to say thank you, especially to Butterfree for the subscription. Thank you to I'm Jolie and Vlad Kilmer from following from about 5 days ago. I really appreciate it. Check me out on all the socials, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, here on Twitch, all at mMrRetro. That is mMrRetro. That is 2 M's, 2 R's, ETRO. Check you guys out later. Hit that raid button when you're ready. Bye-bye.